Okay, fam. So we are in the process of making changes. The Tower talks about unexpected changes, things moving, just moving in a totally different direction as you know, from where something was. This is usually either you making this change happen, or this is a change that's well overdue. But I feel like this is the Page of Swords. So I feel like whatever this was, whatever you were being patient on, you needed more time. You needed to understand something. You needed time to investigate, to get some research done. But the Tower is about the inevitable change. The change is coming in that's going to alter your life in such a big way. Now, with the Five of Cups coming up in the heart of the reading, this may have been a sacrifice in some degree. Maybe you've lost something recently, or maybe there is something that you do miss sometimes, or there was an opportunity that you may have let pass you by. But there's always looking at these three cups here. These three cups here that are looking at the potential running out. The potential of this circumstance. But there's no potential, obviously, for the circumstance if it's ended, if it's gone, if it's done. So I feel like you're not necessarily seeing this as, oh man, woe is me, the situation is over. It's like you guys are taking this opportunity to study, to understand what you've lost, so that way you will never return to it. Okay, so I kind of get that vibe with this. And the reason why I say that is because you're taking the Queen of Wands and the Four of Cups. You're bummed out. Either you're bummed out or unmotivated, or apathetic. The Four of Cups is coming up, and I really feel like for a lot of you guys, you didn't really mind letting this go, because this is something that you've been through already. You're done with it. You're ready to move on. I feel like there's a chapter here that maybe needs to be refreshed sometimes too. With this Tower energy coming up like this, there may be a refreshing energy. And it's coming from what went wrong, what didn't work the first time, and trying to apply a different strategy or different motivation toward it. Now in the past, you have the Six of Coins, y'all. Okay, so I feel like you guys were definitely in the process of balancing things out in your life, getting things in order, working on your dynamic, working on the dynamic in your relationships. And I really feel like for a lot of you guys, this was totally and ultimately having to do with probably receiving, allowing yourself to receive. Some of you guys, this is about, the support in a relationship. If one of you has each other's back, or both of you. The Six of Coins does talk about give and take, but it also talks about weighing the pros and cons, I feel like, too. Not necessarily weighing the pros and cons, I shouldn't say that, but more of like, assessing what you're getting out of the work that you're putting in, right? Weighing the amount of work done versus what you're receiving out of it. And I feel like there was a lot of work here to get that finalized, to get that work done. Some of you guys may have even had someone reach out, someone, to help you. I want to even take a look at this. Why do we have the Six of Coins coming up for Capricorn? Why is the Six of Coins coming up for Capricorn in the past? Okay. High Priestess. Wow. So it's interesting. That's interesting. So the High Priestess and the Five of Cups is coming up. Mainly because you already know it has to do with what you've lost in the past, or what is no longer here in the past. It could be that maybe you've distanced yourself from your friends, or maybe your friends distance themselves with you, or maybe they're just not a part of the scene at this moment. There could be some people, or there could be some sort of support that it wasn't there, and that was what you were trying to reestablish. But it's not the same. I think whatever you've tried to work on or try to, balance out, it's proven to be a little bit annoying to deal with. I feel like either annoying or just you've kind of feel emotionally stuck with it. You don't really know what to do with it. So let's see why is the Four of Cups coming up with this? Like, you've been extremely thorough, showing that you're willing to work with the person. But the Four of Cups is saying that as hard as you've tried, you kind of just feel like you're in a dilemma because you're either torn by two sides, or perhaps there's a situation where you just kind of feel like you can't give more than what you have already done. If maybe there's an area where there's something missing with this individual, with how you interact with this person, and it's just not working out. It could be that there's a dream here too that you may be losing hope on. Some of you guys may be losing hope in some area, especially in your love life. Maybe this is about, someone that you're waiting to hear from, or maybe you're kind of waiting to get some sort of information back. Or perhaps there is something around you at this time that you don't maybe see. And it has a lot to do with the Five of Cups. Maybe there's a lot of emphasis of what's not there, what you've already done, what was unsuccessful, the failure of a situation, or the situation coming to some sort of collapse. I kind of get this vibe that the Tower also talks about a situation where something has already changed and already altered the course of your life, and you're kind of feeling stuck like, wow, what am I going to do with this? Because the Six of Coins here shows that there was there was a need for something to be balanced, or things were in a state of balance, and it was because you had lost something similar to this before. The High Priestess tells me that there was something that you may have perceived, that you already kind of sensed coming in. But you knew you had to be patient, you knew you had to be open, you knew you had to wait. And what came through may have felt like something fell out of, something just ended. Something just stopped working. Something might have happened where, you just decided that, hey, this is not worth the time and effort for it right now. Or not necessarily that this isn't worth it, but I feel like either you lost something precious to you, like this. The fact that the Five of Cups is coming up twice, is raising a lot of alarm bells for me. I don't know if the emphasis is that you're dwelling on what's lost, but more of like trying to understand what you did, or how that situation went wrong, so that way you can better prepare yourself for what you want to create. I feel like there was either space made for you to do something different and start fresh, or perhaps this situation, this dream, is an old one, and you can no longer figure out how to move forward with this because it's not necessarily inspiring you. The Star is an old... I feel like the fact that the Star is coming up is telling me this is an old dream. And now this dream is starting to kind of dull. It started to look dull. But I kind of also feel like, too, the situation, the solution to it is something that you're not looking at. It perhaps may be right in front of you with the Star card. But the fact that your intention is focused a lot on what you've already done, how that circumstance already kind of showed itself to manifest, perhaps you're just kind of feeling stuck. Like, well, if this doesn't work out, how am I supposed to make this work? Well, the Star energy is a healing energy as well as an inspiring energy. It's about striving for new aspirations, going toward a new point in your life, going after new dreams, going after a new life, totally, or totally changing your perspective on what you want to go for, what your new goals are. This is the break. This is the opportunity to take action based off of breaking free from the Tower. Right? The Star is always after the Tower here. And I feel like this is the opportunity to utilize this newfound world that you found yourself in. And I feel like for you, Capricorn, you're probably hitting a bit of a dilemma at this moment because you're trying to be very practical right now. You're not connecting with that part of yourself that does require you to tap into your emotions, that which has to do with that, which has a great impact on creativity, with passion. There may be just like something is possibly sucking you dry, or the situation is quite demanding and you can't allow yourself to be emotional at this time, or you feel like you can't. But the exact opposite is happening. They're asking you to have fun, to enjoy. I feel like whatever you've been working on, whatever you've been trying to get right, it's not necessarily looking as exciting. And I feel like why the Page of Wands is coming up right here is to remind you that you're doing this for a specific reason. Because you are a creative person. You are someone that deserves fun. You are someone that enjoys some fire in their life. And I feel like what's missing and what you can't put your finger on is exactly that. It has nothing to do with practical. It has nothing to do with looking at your finances. And I don't think some of you guys may already know this. Some of you guys already know that what is going on isn't the fact that it's money, and you guys know this. It's the fact that you're not feeling. And there needs to be an opportunity, or you're gonna need to make an opportunity to change that. Especially if things are dull and they're not necessarily motivating you. Some of you guys may not be feeling motivated. Some of you guys may be feeling motivated. But it all depends on how you see this Five of Cups. Do you see this Five of Cups as some space made to go ahead and achieve some dreams that you had? Maybe this was something, maybe there was a certain dream that you've put on the side. You feel like you've missed that opportunity to go for it. And now you're emotionally stuck because that's the only dream that you've got. The Queen of Pentacles can indicate there's someone around you right now that can help you get to where you want to be, but you have to trust them too. There's an element of trust that does come with it, but I don't think this person has any issues with trust, any issues with helping you out. Why is the Queen of Coins coming up in Capricorn's best path to follow? This is someone that you already know. This is someone that you love very deeply, very dearly. They may be at a distance from you. This can indicate a Gemini energy, but this can also just talk about this person that you are connected to. This could be a soulmate of some sort. Ultimately, though, I kind of get the vibe that the Queen of Pentacles and the Lovers rather may be just a business partnership, the perfect business partnership, the perfect person to go into business with. The Queen of Pentacles is the person you want to go into business with. She will have your back. She's organized. She's on time. She puts all of her effort into something that she sees as great value. And I feel like she sees either a great value in you or the great value in the relationship, or she sees that there's great abundance that can be manifested by working together. But there's either distance or some sort of, I don't think there's disconnection, but I feel like there may be a feeling of strong, there may be something magnetic between you two. But this just, the convincing portion of this is the hardest part. Is the acceptance of what you love. Now, Capricorn, you can come up as the Queen of Pentacles sometimes. You don't have to be a female. It could be anybody. It could be a male or a female. It doesn't matter. It could be that you're trying to decide practically what you love is, if what you love is worth pursuing. If what you love is worth being authentic in. Maybe you lost hope in a certain dream that you do love. Maybe the love reading that's coming up in here has nothing to do with another person. It has strictly to do with who you are and what you love to put out to the world. I don't think you guys are necessarily feeling defeated. I mean, I feel like maybe some of you may be feeling like, wow, this is so much that kind of fell through my grasp. But there is space to do something way differently in a way that you probably haven't noticed or seen. Now let's see why you have the Two of Coins in your future. Wow, you had Temperance earlier. I love it. So right now, Capricorn, I honestly feel like the situation, the Five of Cups and all that, I feel like as much work as you've been putting in or trying, like, you noticed that the situation wasn't balanced properly. Whatever this was here, it wasn't balanced very well. You tried your best with it, and you did the best you could. You put your heart and soul into it, which is why this is so crushing, because this was a part of you that hasn't been seen, that hasn't really been noticed, and this is a part of you that you're quite aware of, that you want to express, perhaps. And as much as you've tried to physically manifest this into existence, it may have had some sort of hiccups and fallen through. But that was not the end of this situation. Same with this card here. Both of these two here are telling you that the journey isn't over for what you want to do. Where you're trying to go isn't the end of it. But how you've been approaching it, with the perspective in which you've been approaching it, with the attitude that you've been approaching it, the energy that you've been approaching it, it may need some tweaking. Not that it's bad, not that you're doing something wrong. Something needs to be tweaked. And I feel like as much as the much detail that you pay attention to things, as hard as you try to figure out what's going on, you may be feeling like you're hitting a wall. But that wall may be that you're not connecting with your emotions. Because in this area here, you're very much in depth with your emotions, which is why the Five of Cups hurt so badly. Why the loss hit you so hard is because you allowed yourself to feel deeply about what you wanted. That's not a weakness. It is not a weakness. It's your strength. And you're trying to figure out, well, how can you move forward? How can you perhaps grow? How can you unstick yourself and enjoy what you love to do? And it starts by following your heart, following your aspirations. What is your heart calling out to you? You can't, you can't just go through it in a practical manner. Some of you guys may be legitimately trying to just figure out a way to completely detach emotionally from your work so you can get it done. I feel like there's an aspect of this situation where it's super boring. That's like right now it's helping you to figure out the rhythm in which something needs to go, or the pattern in which something needs to go. So that way you can still be immersed in your emotions, and you can do, and you have the follow through there that you can go forth. You just need the inspiration right now. The Page of Wands is coming up saying, hey, you need something that gets you started, that gets you hyped, that gets you, pumped up and ready to go. You know what I'm saying? Something that's going to get you feeling outside of the box, or not necessarily outside the box, but just inspiring you to take action again. Because it looks like how you went about it kind of maybe shattered those dreams a little bit, maybe hit you in the gut. But nothing that you did was wrong. It may have to do with the organization of it, the way, the strategy to go about doing it. And choosing, you won't never have to choose what you love. It's all about, then it would only be about maintaining and processing what you love in a way that will continue to fulfill you and who you are, and get things done in the way that you don't have to worry about something coming unlatched or, going unhandled, and making a mess of things. So with your hopes and fears coming up here is the Fountain. This energy here is literally being. I feel like you guys want to be yourself without compromise. I feel like you don't want to put necessarily extreme effort into something that really doesn't represent you. You want to at least put work towards something that does represent you. And the only time the only way you're going to be able to physically out there, or just working on manifesting, you're not allowing the past to continue to kick you into the dirt. Right now, things may not be the most clear, and it's maybe because there's a lot of what you're looking at that you do have, that you can use, but it's not applied at this moment, because this situation has been quite devastating for some of you. But the High Priestess in your outcome is saying that you already know what to do and how to do it, and it's not necessarily about when to do it, because timing is an opportunity to procrastinate. Time is now. Time is not truly a vessel of which can be measured. It can be already done. it just, I feel like for some of you, it has to do with accepting what is, allowing yourself to make those moves, freeing yourself from a certain perspective of how something should go or how something had went. You have every opportunity to change and learn from the mistakes that were made, from the losses that had come of some sort of circumstance. You know how to handle it. You know how to be happy. You know how to make this a success. And it's about trusting yourself. And I don't think that this has anything to do with, oh, I failed and I messed up. It's about trusting yourself to try again. I feel like you, in a way, some of you guys may have felt like you've broken your own heart with this. But you didn't. You just showed yourself what may need to be done differently. It is not your fault, and that everything can be altered. You just have to start again. You have to break yourself out of the rut of, oh, man, this is not how I expected it to go down. And truly go after what you want and not compromise. So let's go ahead and see what you guys got for your wisdom of the oracle. Come on. Alright, give me a message for Capricorn. There we go. Look at that. The card of timelessness. Literally. There's no time like the present, family. The past is in the present and the future is in the present. We determine who we are from how we've learned, from the lessons that we've hit, or from the things that we've encountered. We are who we always and will always be. And I feel like with TikTok coming up is no coincidence, because I feel like with time, with waiting, with timelessness, this is divine timing here. You don't have to go by someone else's perspective of what is or what should be. And I feel like that's, obviously you guys don't roll like that. Some of you guys may not roll like that. Some of you guys may be like, yeah, I know that. For those of you, that's not that message for you. But for those of you that believe that there's a certain time for things, or that there's a certain area in which you should do something. Yes, there's a certain structure in how things should move, but you don't necessarily, you don't have, you have all the answers from all the experiences that you've gone through. You have the opportunity to change your destiny and change your course, but you have to trust that what you've learned is something that's so crucial and so important that you will never, ever, ever let yourself forget it. You are the mighty Capricorns, the Capricorns that ride up the mountain, that fight up the mountain. When you don't have hands, when you only have hooves, the goats that make the impossible possible. This is literally calling upon you guys to remember not only who you are, but remember all the things that have proven to you, all the situations that you've put yourself through to prove to yourself that you are an unstoppable being, that you are a creative being, that you are someone that will not take no for an answer, that will not give up. Because your passion, your strive for success, not in the absolute the amazing feeling of accomplishing what you believe is of value to you, that is way stronger than any hiccups that come up along the way, no matter how big those hiccups are. If they're devastating hiccups, the answer is still, I'm going to do what I feel I am led to do, what I will love to do. Love without condition. That is a card I have not seen in a very long time. And that means that, this situation, this period in your life right now is asking you so much so to allow yourself to be who you've always been. And not let that change you. Let the fall throughs change you. To love all of you, despite the mistakes that were made, despite the slip-ups. Love what you love, despite what may have set you back. Because it's not the setbacks that prove to you that something should or should not be. It is you who believes those things. We are not going to let the world determine for us who we should and shouldn't be. We will not let the universe show us who we should and shouldn't be. The universe is not in any way, shape, or form capable of doing that. The universe is only able to be our echo chamber. We are what we send out to the universe. This doesn't have to be that way. You guys have everything that you need in here, in your heart, in your mind. You know, the High Priestess is the card of knowing. In this forgiveness, either that may need for healing, forgiving yourself and healing of yourself, of that circumstance, and trying again, or trying something different, or trying something in a different way. But forgiveness and loving yourself and loving what you love unconditionally, that's what's going to fill you with this childlike energy of gusto, of inspiration, of creativity, of excitement. A small step in the right direction is just enough to get you started all over again. So I feel like with the Page of Wands, you don't need to start super huge, because any small step is already a very big gesture towards the direction in which you want to go. You just got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere.